What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you had a marvelous weekend, and we are here to talk about Macy's because this podcast is presented by Macy's. The big winter biggest savings has arrived. Winter's biggest savings sale has arrived with Macy's. So you're looking at new coats, new sweaters, holiday gifts right around the corner, and it's time to upgrade that winter wardrobe, okay? Finally, it's starting to get a little bit cold. I think. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. But we are headed into those winter cold months, and we want to upgrade our wardrobe, our home, our bedding, all of the things. From November 5th until November 6th, you can get all the deals on holiday hosting and holiday dressing as well, because that's right around the corner. Yep. And it's the perfect time to check out Macy's.com or visit the store. Macy's during Christmas time is just spectacular, especially Macy's Herald Square in New York City. So if you're in the city or Macy's near you, holiday time is the best time to check out Macy's. So go to Macy's.com or go to a local Macy's.
Yeah, I was already seeing those decorations up on the Herald Square location. They're also running a great commercial right now. Have you seen the Macy's gift guiding commercial? I'm like, I love this. It's a great commercial.
It is a great commercial, and it's so true. Macy's has the best for gifts and gift guiding. So make sure you shop at Macy's.com or go to a local Macy's store.
Love it.
How we feeling? How was everyone's weekend?
Weekend was lovely. It's Marathon Sunday, which is always a great day in New York. I think it was a perfect weather if you were to ask the runners out there, because sometimes these last few years it's been kind of warm, which can be tough.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful. It's up on the Upper East Side, watching some people run, cheering some people on, seeing some signs. It was great.
That sounds amazing.
Just who else did Jake Bass run?
Yeah, he ran.
Good for him.
I wanted to be there, but I had my grandpa's birthday.
Yeah,
But
good for him.
I applaud all the people who do it,
seriously.
because literally could never, ever, ever in a million years be me. Truly, we will never.
It's so impressive.
It's so impressive. I don't know how people do it. So truly, props to the runners. If you are listening and you ran, props to you.
Yep.
Hopefully you had people there cheering you on, whether you did it for yourself or a good cause.
Yep.
It's really amazing to see, because I just give them full credit, because I'm like, I just could never.
It's unreal.
Unreal.
It is unreal.
My brother got married this weekend on Friday.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was so much fun. My sister-in-law looked gorgeous. It was amazing. It was really just such a blast. I had seriously the best time. And, I just, at the end, I just was going up to everyone like, that rocked. Yeah. Like, that fucking rocked. That ruled.
Good job, everybody.
Good job, everybody.
That was a great one.
We did that one. That was great. That was a great wedding. My brother and my sister-in-law are two of the shyest people ever in my personal life, really, that they just don't like attention on them. They're very, very shy. So to see them have like the spotlight on them and like to soak it in was great to see, and like pulling them into the middle of the dance floor and watching them have such a great time was awesome. So happy for them. And now they'll go off on their honeymoon this week and have a great time. But it was amazing. And a lot of my dad, a lot of his friends are people he grew up with from like when he was way, way younger, like a little kid. And they were all together for the first time in a long time. So that was a lot of fun for them. My mom and my sister-in-law's mom, they did an incredible job with everything. So
your mom looked beautiful. I didn't really get like I just saw a glimpse of like farther. You can show me the other pictures, but your mom looked
stunning.
Yeah.
She's just the most beautiful. She just looks stunning and glowing and happy.
Loved her dress.
And her dress was amazing. Just like boom, like she's there, She looked incredible. Everybody looked incredible. It was really beautiful and truly so much fun. Like, I had a freaking blast, and I'm so happy for them.
I replied to your sister. I was like, I cannot take Luca in that little car coming down the aisle.
Oh yeah, that was unreal.
Let me tell you, Luca came down in this Fiat. The star of the show, obviously. I mean, he looked like he was the Godfather. Like, it was. He's so fucking cute.
He really is just such a little old man. Like,
he's a little gentleman.
He in his little tuxedo, and I'm looking at him, his little suit, and in my mind, he's just like, "You talking to me?"
No, truly, like that. That is it. He is so freaking cute. I mean, I'm gonna ask for permission if I can share this video, but there were a couple flower girls involved, because I have a couple of cousins who had little girls, and my brother's best friend who was our neighbor across the street growing up. They had a little girl. She's about, I want to say 1.5 now. And she was also a flower girl. So they had like 4 flower girls.
Yeah.
And my mom put her in the Fiat. And my mom, while we were taking pictures, was pushing her in the Fiat. And my mom's dress got stuck under the Fiat. And this little girl slow-mo tumbled out of the car onto the ground. And let me tell you, this video is a video of like America's Funniest home videos. Like truly, I was like, I need permission if I can share this video, because
it's like you're like almost submitting it like to yourself.
No, I'm submitting it to myself to share, because this video was truly slow-mo. She was okay. So it's okay to share.
Exactly.
But like one of those videos.
Clarification.
One of those videos that you would watch on the old America's Home Funniest videos. We were dying. It was incredible. And we were just like picking on my mom the whole night. Like, how can you let that happen? She was like, my dress got stuck. Like, you could see the whole thing happen. Her dress gets stuck. She literally slow-mo tumbles out of this Fiat. But she was fine. So everybody.
And it was like a little, for clarification, like a little push.
Oh, a push Fiat, not
like
an
a little,
Fiat.
like little kid.
Yeah, I keep
push
saying
car.
Yeah,
here we're just calling it a Fiat. Sounds like they're driving down.
I keep saying
a straight up Fiat. Like,
no, the little toy.
It's a toy
Fiat.
car.
It's a toy Fiat car that you get pushed around in, not a large Fiat.
Yeah,
not even that Fiats are large anyway, but you know, not a real Fiat, a toy one. But it was seriously such a great night, an amazing weekend, and then just sort of rested the rest of the weekend, because our tour starts this Wednesday, the day after Election Day. So you know, when we record, and we talked about this, we were like,
a lot going on this week.
Yeah, a lot going on this week. And when we record on Tuesday morning, we won't know anything about the results. So on Wednesday, when you hear from us, not that anybody would be coming to Fran and I for the results of the election anyway, but you will not be hearing us talk about it,
we
because
won't know either.
We won't know anything.
It'll just be, like, it's like, we'll have gone to... It's like, go to vote in the morning, come record the podcast, and then we fly to Kansas City.
Exactly. So if you're listening to this now, go out and vote. But when you hear from us on Wednesday, we won't know anything, so we won't be talking about it, and we'll be on our way to Kansas City after the morning.
I'm excited for that.
We're excited for that. So if you're coming to the Kansas City show, we can't wait to see you. It's going to be a great night.
Bring some signs.
Kansas City, and then Nashville will be on Friday, so we will not have an episode this Friday.
Yeah.
Correct.
And this is the only time.
This is the only time
on the tour.
On the tour that the schedule will be changed. It's only this week.
Right, because this is the only week that we're doing 2 shows in the same week. Everything else is more spread out. So we will be good to go. But I am excited.
I'm super excited. I cannot wait. We added some things. We changed some things around. So if you're coming to the show and you've been to a show before, hopefully you'll get a little something new in there. And we have some great guests. Can't wait to see Joey and Kelce this Wednesday, and Kayla and Liv on Friday. It's going to be so much fun.
Can't wait to chat Dance with the Stars.
I will say Pop Base put out a hilarious tweet that I have to read. They wrote, upcoming events in pop culture. Election, November 5th. Grammy nominations, November 8th. People's Sexiest Man Alive reveal, November 12th. I'm like, oh, yes.
I'm surprised Dash 4 didn't say Chicks in the Office live show.
I thought that's where it was going.
I'm like, upcoming events in pop culture. No, it's just hilarious that I'm like, this was all lumped in together. People's Sexiest Man Alive lumped in with the election.
Man Alive, also very important, you know.
Extremely important news.
Extremely important. Big reveal, you know. They're almost... They should really all be included in the same
in the same sentence,
in the same sentence
tweet.
For sure.
Yes, all covering within the same week.
Wait, so this weekend I had 2 celebrity sightings that you would have thought, like, I don't interview celebrities for a living half the time. Like, we have spoken to some really cool people, and still sometimes when I see people on the street, I'm like, like jaw drops. I texted you guys about the one on Sunday, but Friday, Joe and I went to dinner, and we were sitting outside at Mirandy in the West Village, and I see this is the thing, like, I don't even know what his name is. But
what?
So you're about to tell us about an interaction you don't know.
when I say it, you're gonna be like, oh,
okay,
it's the guy from Marvelous Miss Maisel who's in The Penguin, who's the son that got that, you know, the mob boss's son.
Yes,
in The Penguin.
Oh yeah.
In the first episode, you know?
Yeah.
But he he walked down the street and literally I'm like eating my pasta and we just like lock eyes and I'm like my jaw drops and when you just he's walking like God I've been recognized like but he just kept walking but I just was in my seat like as he went by. And then Sunday night I was walking home from watching the Eagles game and I'm just crossing Park Avenue. Gwyneth Paltrow walked right by with her husband.
Unbelievable.
And I went, and I was with my brother and I was with JB and Joe and they were like, what? And I was like, guys, that was Gwyneth Paltrow. And they were like, what?
No, that's crazy because right now she's filming that movie with Timothée Chalamet.
Yes. And I will say and I know people say this about celebrities all the time, but she is shorter than I imagined.
Because I do envision Gwyneth Paltrow to be tall.
I don't know why I imagine Gwyneth Paltrow to be like 6 feet tall.
I agree.
You know?
How tall was she?
I mean, maybe a little bit taller than me. Like,
I
not
imagine
crazy.
Gwyneth Paltrow to be tall as well. She has a tall appearance.
She totally does. She gives like tall energy for sure. And for a second, I mean, okay, she is tall. She's listed at 5'9".
Oh, okay. So
but
she
that's
is tall.
But maybe sometimes, if they add an inch.
But maybe crossing the street, she just looked a little shorter to you.
Perhaps.
That's a great one, though.
But I don't know why I just thought, like, if I ever saw Gwyneth Paltrow, I'd be, like, looking up at her, you know?
Well,
like, I'd be, like, a measly little human on the street. I'd be, like, I'd be, like, looking up at her. But, yeah.
That's a great celebrity sighting.
I know.
That's sick. I'm jealous.
Like, And then JB and Joe are mad. They were like, what? And I was like, classic boy. Not looking close enough.
Because you are always getting the celebrity sightings. It's happened to us walking down where you'll see someone, I'm like, what?
Well, my eyes are always peeled, you know?
I'm the celebrity sightings.
I'm always looking.
You're on it. I mean, remember when we ran into Bruce Willis? That was crazy.
Yeah.
That's a throwback. But
that was.
That's a great celebrity sighting.
But I was like, wow, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
People always, not to compare myself to Gwyneth Paltrow here, but people always tell me that I'm way shorter than they thought I was.
Yeah.
Because I'm like 5'3". But every time people meet me, they're like, oh my God, I thought you were way taller. And I'm like, what? I don't feel like I'm giving tall energy on the screen.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah, but I think it's just, I don't know. When you see people online, on social media, on this, like you kind of don't, your immediate thought, I feel like everybody just goes to like average height. Like nobody's like, oh, that person looks super short.
Right. Yeah, but like
five
or super 5'3" isn't super short in my opinion. But I think it's just like,
Like you're short, I think. I wouldn't say super short.
Yeah, I do feel short a lot of times. I do feel short.
And I'm not, I'm not trying to label you, but I think I would hit you with a shorty.
Rhea's a little shorty.
Yeah.
Is that what you say about me behind my back?
Yeah, I do. My shorty.
You're like, Rhea's so short.
Yeah, you guys will never believe how short she is.
If you want to know one thing about her.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
what's something about Rhea you can tell me that no one else knows?
And you're like, she's so short. No, I mean, I go through phases. Sometimes I like being short. Sometimes I hate it. Sometimes I just wish I had.
I think it's just when people are kidding. It's like people say this. They're like, Gia's tall. Like people are like always shocked when they find out Gia's as tall.
Gia's really tall.
Yeah.
I wore, no joke, 7-inch heels at my brother's wedding on Friday. Like the tallest heels I've ever worn. And I walked through the door and my dad was like, holy shit, I didn't know who you were. He was like, I was wondering what bridesmaids is this?
Right.
Marina has a really, because my brother's wife's name's Marina. She has a really tall friend. And then he's like, and then it clicked. I was like, it's you. And then everyone was like, when did you? And then I had to show everybody my heels because everybody in my life was like, why do you look so tall right now?
Right.
And I was like,
I'm wearing giant platforms.
I'm literally wearing 7-inch heels right now.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. So it was nice to feel tall for a night, It
is. Hey,
it was nice to see how people are living.
It's a totally different world up there.
It is because
you really get the bird's eye view. What's going on.
Matt's so tall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Honestly, he lives his life like that every day.
Every day, and my family is not. And that's like the one thing that they're always saying to him. They're like, "You're so tall. You're so tall. Like, what's it like?" Like, because my family's not tall at all. And like, sometimes I'll get on his level, like I'll get up on the couch or something, and I'm like, "So that's what it's like up here, huh?" Mm-hmm. Also, the view of you looking at me, like,
totally
is
different.
not what it's like looking in the mirror. It's all totally different. But speaking of looking in the mirror, I truly was like basking in my ugliness today. Like I woke up and I was looking in the mirror.
It's when I felt this way.
And I just felt so fucking ugly today. And I couldn't figure out how to do my hair, and I didn't want to do my makeup. And I got my period this morning. Like waking up on a Monday morning with your period is a nightmare.
Worst case
and it's just
scenario.
like, God, it's Monday and I have my period and I feel so ugly right now. And that's how I'm going about my day. And I said, you know what? I'm going to bask in my fucking ugliness and just how ugly I am. And then on Tuesday night, I'm going to go spray tan, and Wednesday's a show, and then I'll get my makeup done and I'll feel pretty again.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm ugly.
Hey, if you're ugly, I'm ugly, sister. I put the blue light glasses on today. That's when you know. Like I mean, not only my skin was breaking out really bad at the end of last week, and I was like, I'm gonna go get a facial this weekend. I normally am pretty good with getting facials. I like to go because I think it personally helps my skin a lot. But my normal esthetician was fully booked for weeks, and I had an appointment, but then we had something come up with work, so I had to cancel it. And I was like, all right, I'll go to this other place, whatever. Because I had and it's like giant scab now. I got one down here, over here. It was just one of those that was under the skin. That was
really, I
like
had to get it
forming a second head. And to the point where when she was going in to do all the extractions and she got near that, and she literally goes, I'm so sorry, this one's probably really gonna hurt. I was like, yeah, it's okay. I can feel it. Like even when you touch it, it hurts. I felt like I got a sty coming in.
Oh my God. It's just ugly week. It's ugly Monday.
Nothing is worse. And I do think like some people are genetically more prone to these eye conditions, because I certainly am from what I've dealt with in the last year.
You're getting a lot of eye stuff. Is it products you're using? Have you looked into the products you're using?
No, because I owe it. Like it's not. I don't.
You clogging your eye pores?
No, because it's not even like I wear a shit ton of eye makeup. Like,
not eye makeup, but like skin products. Like
Yeah,
are they going over your
maybe,
eyes?
maybe.
Are you using an eye cream?
No, yeah. I mean, I do, but I don't know. It's just some people are just more on. You know what it is too. I could probably be better with washing my face like earlier in the evening. You know, like you always like. I feel like you put your makeup on, you come to work, you get home, and right away you're washing your face. You're taking the makeup off.
Let me tell you, there's nobody in life that takes their makeup off quicker than Maria.
I know. Or I'll go home and I'll stay in my makeup all night, and I'll take it off like before I go to bed.
Oh no. As soon as I walk in the door of my apartment, my clothes come off.
Yep. And
my face is washed within 10 minutes.
No, I'm a freak where I'll like I'll be on the couch like in my jeans and my makeup, and it's like 10
Let me
p.m.
tell you, I don't think that's a freak. I think I'm considered the freak. I think some people would consider me the freak having to do that right away.
Right.
It's just like
I feel like I should be doing that though.
No, I mean, I think there's some people that'll call you a freak, and there's some people that call me a freak, whichever way you live. But there is the feeling of makeup on my face. It makes me want to claw my skin off. I hate the feeling of makeup on my face, although I have to wear it because these lights in the studio they make you look crazy if you don't wear makeup, which sometimes we just don't. And then I look at the videos and I'm terrified of myself. I look at these videos and go, oh my God, this is what I'm showing up like. And then I carry on with my day because there's nothing really you can do when you're just in a fucking mood and you don't want to put makeup on. It's like, I don't want to put makeup on.
Yep. I know.
You know?
And then there's like,
I hate the feeling I gotta wash it off.
And it's the tough part of where everyone's screaming at you to wear sunscreen every single day, no matter what. Like, wear your sunscreen, and I do. I always wear sunscreen. Always. And it's like, even like whatever skincare that has SPF in it. And I always have my skin, and then I'm going to get my facial, and they're like, oh, this is probably a sunscreen really clogging up all your pores. I'm like, oh, it's just a lose battle.
It totally is with the sunscreen. I feel you.
They're like, you're protecting against one thing, but your pores will be clogged. Clogged. So maybe I'm getting sunscreen in my eye. I don't know.
It could be. It totally could be.
But nothing is worse than waking up and classic morning stretch, get out of bed, kind of rub my eye, scratch your eyes a little. And when I went to do it, I went, oh no. I could feel it right away. I felt like a little bruise forming in the inside of my eye. It's like, shit. But I know all the tips and tricks after having my fucking Charizard on my eye for however long that was.
I have faith that this style will go down quick.
It hasn't gotten worse.
That's good.
So that's I don't know if it's necessarily gotten better, but it hasn't gotten worse. I am a little worried the fact that we have 2 nights this week where like I literally need to have makeup on, so we'll see how that goes. But
play around the eye.
Yeah, exactly.
The eye.
Yeah.
Now that we're on a complaint path and it's Complaint McGee Day, I'm gonna add one more complaint in there. Okay. Got my nails done yesterday.
Oh, I went this weekend too.
Take a look at these.
Yeah.
What do you think? This is supposed to be nice. This hand is supposed to be a good hand. So
I mean, I love the shape.
Thanks. The color. What do you think about the color?
I mean, they're black.
No, they're not supposed to be black. They're like a dark purple with some sparkle. But
Are
besides
they?
the point, yes.
Oh wait, well I'm looking also with these glasses.
It's besides the point. Besides the point. This is not even what I should I should just show you the other hand while I'm here.
I see it now that it's hard to tell from
It's a very dark purple with some sparkle.
Yeah, I see.
But now take a look at this fucking hand. Why does it look like that on that hand? Look at this. What is that?
Oh, the top coat's fucked up.
And you want to know? I'm on to them. You know when they put the cream on your hand after they're all done, they do the hot towel?
Yeah.
Stop doing it. It ruins the shine of the nails. They were all shiny, and then after she put the cream on,
That hand probably didn't dry all the way.
no, and then and the cream got
And that's
stuck,
why.
and
Yeah.
now that it looks like this.
Yeah. I can
So-
see it a little bit, but it's not too bad.
It's when you point it
No,
out,
I
but that's my
feel
last
you.
complaint of the day. I'm
Yeah.
I'm ugly freaking Betty today.
Well, you're complaining, but I got a manicure. I'm actually obsessed with it. So
I'm so happy for you though.
I actually think my manicure is so cool. I got like a velvet.
Wow.
Take a look at that. And it's
That
like,
is really cool.
It was like magic.
Wow, that's really
She
cool.
painted my nail like a like literally this color purple,
Mm-hmm.
that color purple, and then she used this like brown sparkly top coat, and then took this metal bar and just moved it around each finger.
Wow.
I was like, ooh, magic.
They are really cool.
And they're
Good for
cool.
you.
Yeah,
Good for you.
first time ever doing it, so I was like, oh,
Why not?
beautiful. Although I always separate my manicure and my pedicure because
Me too.
it's a long day. And I did both. And I was in there for 3 hours. And it was
It's a good chunk of the day.
I started yawning. I almost fell asleep in the chair. My girl doing my nails, she goes, "Oh, you tired?" I was like, yeah, kind of.
Getting your nails done is not a relaxing experience.
It's been a long day.
It's exhausting, really. I'm really glad you love your nails, though. That's great news.
Yeah. Yep.
It's great news.
Sorry.
No, I love this hand. I love
it's
the right
beautiful.
hand.
Yep.
I love the right hand. Left. 2
Left.
fingers need some work. Okay, let's get into the rest of the show. We are going to be talking about Jason Kelce and that little altercation with that obnoxious real life troll.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Olivia Rodrigo talks about some red flags that she has when she goes on a first date. Celebrity Halloween. Got to talk about some celebrity Halloween costumes. The Wicked Press Tour has started, and we'll talk about the Weekly Watch Report. So let's get into it.
You didn't want to put the Rizzlers
Oh,
related to Big Justice.
We'll put that on there. We're going to be talking about the Rizzler. Let's throw the Rizzler. Let's talk about the Rizzler on there because the Rizzler has a world tour going on.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about the Rizzler.
Yep.
Very important news.
Yeah. Thank you. Please put that on there.
Make a night of it. Abercrombie has new party looks for every holiday event. Your excuse to RSVP, yes, is having a great little holiday outfit from Abercrombie. They have dresses, skirts, denim, trousers, and going out tops that can be dressed up or down. Abercrombie drops new arrivals every week, so download the Abercrombie app or shop online. You can shop new arrivals every week at Abercrombie. I just got my shipment in for our tour. I cannot wait to rock some of these holiday-inspired outfits during the tour this season. I got some big coats, some sequins, the whole thing, all from Abercrombie, so make sure you're looking for the drops online or on the Abercrombie app. Download the app every week at Abercrombie. So Jason Kelce's minding his own business at Penn State. He's doing his thing. He's carrying a case of beer. He's got a beer open. An obnoxious troll comes into his path with a phone in his face, yelling all these things, calls Travis Kelce a homophobic slur, referring to dating Taylor Swift. And what does Jason Kelce do? He turns around, takes the guy's phone, smashes it into the ground, picks it back up, walks away. The troll comes running after him. Give me my phone. Give me my phone.
Yep.
And then Jason hits him with a little something back.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He hit him with a little something back. And many...
Could have been a lot worse for this guy.
Yeah.
And arguably should have.
Yes. So my question is, in what world are you challenging large Jason Kelce to literally anything?
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously going without saying. The fact that these people exist in real life, because a lot of people talk about online trolls, right? And the online trolls, they are loud and clear.
Yeah.
People can be loud and clear in real life too. And it doesn't get talked about a lot because a lot of times it's online. But when you see it firsthand like this, and you're just like, what kind of people are running around in this world? Why do they exist? Who gives them the right pieces of shit? It just, the list goes on and on. Like, you're just like,
it really does.
Who
raised you?
No, who raised you? Where did you come from? What is wrong in your life that you are so pathetic and angry and miserable of a human being that you are in somebody else's face saying these things about somebody? Like, it's disgusting. It's really, it's just insane. Like, the whole thing is insane. And I think Jason Kelce, I'm shocked he didn't just turn around and punch the guy in the face, because I think everybody would have understood. If Jason Kelce just fucking plummeted this guy into the ground, I think everyone would have been like, yeah, he deserved it.
Yeah. Look, the gall of this, and it is just some douchey teenager.
The worst.
Just
the worst.
That's my guess. We don't really know too much about the person. But yeah, I think the consensus after seeing this was like, oh, can anybody really blame Jason for the way he reacted to that? Because it was an absurd thing to do, an absurd thing to yell, and an absurd thing to film. Like, an absurd thing to, not only are you yelling it, but you're capturing yourself yelling it on camera.
Right.
And you're obviously trying to get a reaction out of him.
And there were some people and I mean, this is just the internet these days, trying to defend this guy. And it's please. In what world are you defending this guy? Like, they're like, oh, he could sue. Oh, really? Because there's video proof of him saying horrible things. So in what way is that going to help his case? Like, it's just insane. And then I will say, TMZ put out a ridiculous article about Jason Kelce. Like, TMZ put out a video and it says, new graphic video shows Jason Kelce using F-slur multiple times in rage. It's like, without putting the context of what happened before that.
Right.
Like, is incredibly misleading. They're just like, it just seems like Jason Kelce's just out there yelling this slur out of rage. It's like, no, there was something that happened beforehand. Like, it's just incredibly misleading headlines.
It completely. And, TMZ just continues to do deplorable things, in my opinion, just the way they frame things. And it's all for clicks. It's all for, it's all in that game. But yeah, I mean, you just see that he's enraged, I would say, and spiking his phone was probably the least, confrontational way he could have responded to that. You just it's just there's not too much really to say about it, but what a fucking loser that kid
Truly,
is.
Such loser behavior.
Yep.
And now you have yourself on video saying that. So good luck.
And all the people that are like, oh, he can sue, whatever. Fine. I'm sure it'll be the easiest lawsuit. Worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it.
I mean, props to Jason Kelce for defending not only his brother, but Taylor and their family, because these people I'm like, what? I don't understand how people's brains work with this shit. I really don't. It's just disgusting. And anybody in their right mind would be as enraged as Jason Kelce was, and probably would have done worse things. I do wish I was able to see the reactions of Travis and maybe Tree. like tree pain.
No,
like,
you're
I'm wondering like what is their reactions to this? You know, they're like, what do we do how do we handle this situation?
Yeah.
What's Kylie Kelce's reaction? You know, is she proud of Jason? Is she mad at Jason? Like what's the reaction here?
Look, I think if you're Kylie, you're in a situation where it's like, hey, do I wish that didn't happen?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like, do I blame you for that reaction? No, not at all.
Right.
You know?
It's like, who can blame
Like, it's
them?
like, oh, like, it didn't happen to me. So realistically, I could be like, oh, you know, I wish you just walked away. But like, it's easier to say that when you're not in that moment.
Right.
And so I think it's easy to be like, oh, but I understand why you did it.
Yeah. And being taunted and like it's just followed and taunted. And it's like, gosh, so annoying. Just so incredibly annoying.
I know. I have a feeling, I mean, we'll see. I can't imagine they wouldn't say something about it on New Heights. You know, they normally talk about everything, and they always do a out of the house segment of like where they were over the weekend, and Jason's been obviously doing a ton for ESPN, and he was there for game day to do the field goal kick in the Tims. Like, that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're going to talk about that. So I feel like it's kind of impossible not to mention that was something that happened. So I'm sure they, you know, will say something.
Yeah.
But
I saw a lot of people being like, I really hope ESPN doesn't make Jason Kelce like apologize. Because,
agreed. Agreed.
This is just,
or like some sort of penalty. I don't even know what they would do, but
one of these situations that just is just just insane. Like, truly, I just
boo
can't
this kid.
No,
boo.
literally such a fucking loser. And I hope all his friends are like, wow, you're such a loser.
Yeah.
You know, I hope none of his friends are like, oh my God, Jason Kelce.
That kid doesn't have any friends.
No, that's true. That's true.
You know?
Or he has a bunch of loser friends. Because let me tell you, he's not the only kid like that to exist. There's a lot of fucking losers out there. Yeah. And he's just one of the thousands of losers that exist. Yep. Very unfortunate, but Jason Kelce is going to stick up for the fam.
Yep.
And we love to see that. And Travis was actually at Taylor's show this weekend. He had practice, but he made it over to the show, which was great to see. There's only 2 more stops left for the Eras tour. It's coming to an end, which is insane. This has been going on since 2023. At this point, it's about to be 2025. So it's just crazy how long this tour has gone on, how incredible it's been. And now that it's coming to an end, I think a lot of people are going to miss it, seeing all the shows and what happens at the shows and the costume changes and just everything having to do with it. So
finally, you know, sometimes the way your brain works in connections. And I said to you before we started, I said there was something that happened this weekend that I wanted to bring up, and I couldn't remember, and I didn't write it down because, you know, I had to write down about the Rizzler, but which just made me think, my brain just went, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Ryan Reynolds posted this weekend about the Eras Tour. Martha Stewart said Ryan Reynolds, not so funny IRL.
Martha Stewart did say that Ryan Reynolds was not so funny in real life.
That's what I wanted to bring up, because that was a honestly hilarious quote of just Martha Stewart being like, yeah, he's not that funny.
And I'm going to applaud Martha Stewart for that one.
Well, Martha will always say how she feels. I mean, always. So
I'm applauding Martha Stewart for that one.
She doesn't think he's that funny.
And fair enough, Martha. Like, you get that takeoff. And then Ryan Reynolds had a response to that. And then Hugh Jackman tweeted, like, finally someone said it.
I know, he's commented back, finally someone said it.
Which funny. Hugh Jackman, maybe the funnier of the two.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? It was funny because, I mean, everyone's been talking about the Martha documentary. Did you watch it? I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to watch it for sure. But she appeared as a guest on Built Rewards' rent-free game show, where she was asked to guess which celebrities Built members believe would be the most fun to hang out with. And when Ryan Reynolds' name was mentioned, Martha disagreed. She said, he's probably on the list just because he covers himself up in his movies and you don't see his face. You want to know something? He's not so funny in real life. No, he's not so funny. He's very serious.
I love that. I love it.
Oh, God. And then Ryan Reynolds, his comment was, I disagree with her, but I tried that once. The woman is unexpectedly spry. She really closed the gap after a mile or so. It's just,
you guys have known my Ryan Reynolds take.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So I'm not, Martha Stewart giving me that little glimpse.
Yeah.
I wish she hadn't, because now it kind of adds into my argument a little bit.
No, 100%. I mean, but this is what I love about Martha too, is like she will have one interaction with somebody. That's all it takes. You've made an impression for life. Like if you're making a first impression on Martha, you better make sure it's a good one, because that's all you get. There's no, that's all you get.
Right, because Ryan Reynolds, like, objectively, people think he's funny.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, go into this. But objectively, people think Ryan Reynolds is funny. Maybe Ryan Reynolds was just having a serious night one night.
Right,
and that's when he met Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart's like, he's not Mr. Funny Guy every night.
This guy's a dud.
Right. Like, and that just happens sometimes. You're not going to be on 100% of the time.
Martha's like, I hang out with Pete Davidson. He's way funnier.
Yeah. And Ryan Reynolds is probably like, fuck, the one night that I'm not on, Martha Stewart now thinks I'm not funny.
Martha's telling the world I'm not funny.
And that is so funny in itself.
That has got to be one of the funniest. Like, if you're Ryan Reynolds, I don't know how you find out about this. I don't know if it's sent to you or your publicist. Maybe Blake sees it first. I don't know. But for you to, like, get sent this article or just sent the video of Martha being like, he's not so funny. He's actually pretty serious.
That would...
Like, and you're just going to be like, oh, come on, Martha.
That would probably, if you're funny, excite you.
Right,
you're
right.
like, oh my God, this is the best material I could work with now.
Yeah.
Is that Martha Stewart now thinks I'm not funny.
Totally.
So
I think it is 100%. The jokes you can make about this in the future are endless.
Right. He now has more jokes thanks to Martha.
Exactly. But that's what I wanted to.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to mention.
I saw that
Ryan
too.
Reynolds unfunny.
Totally
Well,
forgot
Martha
about
Stewart.
that. But coming from Martha Stewart.
I know. I mean, she look, she's 83 years old. She's going to say what she wants to say, as she should. She's already been open. Everybody's been praising the documentary except for her. Everyone's like, the documentary is great. We love it. But if you're Martha, she's like, don't really love it. She was like, didn't show my grandkids enough and talked about me in jail too much. Fair.
That's what ropes the people
Fair.
in.
That's what she was like, that's her criticism of the documentary.
And her being in jail is what ropes people in.
Yeah, of course. That's either, she's like, I think that's the least, interesting thing.
It probably is. I mean, she's created an entire
She
empire
was
for
like,
herself.
the judge fell asleep. She's like, the judge fell asleep during the trial. That's how boring it was.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited to watch that. Moving on, Olivia Rodrigo talked about her biggest red flag, and she said, the biggest red flag, this is a very oddly specific question that I ask guys on first dates. I always ask them if they would want to go to space. And if they say yes, I don't date them. I just think if you want to go to space, you're a little too full of yourself.
Honestly, you know what?
Love this answer.
I love just drawing a hard line in the sand like this.
I love it.
It doesn't particularly make a lot of sense, but at the same time, you think about it and you're like, you know what? She's so right.
For some reason,
right. You don't want it. That person is so full of themselves.
For some reason, it makes perfect sense in my brain. Like, yes. Like, why do you want to go to space so badly?
Right. And also,
what makes you special enough to go to space?
Exactly. Like, if you say you want to go to space, you're like, oh, so you think you can go to space?
Right. Who's taking you to space? You think you have the connection?
Right. You think you're going to be able to make her to space?
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
What makes you so special that you get to go to space?
Right. Why would you survive in space?
Right.
Who's going to pick you?
Also, maybe she's just, anybody that wants to be in space, she's like, no thanks. I would like to, Earth is cool.
Right. Well, hopefully you don't leave me and go to space.
Yeah.
So I, honestly, one of those things where you just, either you get it or you don't. And for some reason, I just get this one. I'm like, this makes a ton of sense to me.
It is. And it's funny to think of like her going on first dates and no matter what, she slips in the space question at some point on the date.
And thinking that the guy thinks that she wants to go to space. So he's like, yeah. And she's like,
Right.
no. Wrong call.
I also think like in a guy's mind, if they're on a first date and they're asked like, would you want to go to space? I think the guy would think, no, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the guy would maybe think like, oh yeah, like want to go to, like going to space would be the right answer there.
Yeah, I think I'd be like, if she's asking, then I'd be like, she's obviously interested in going to
Right.
space.
Right.
Yeah,
If she's asking, she's maybe wants to go to
I'd
space
be like,
too.
why is she like so anti going to space?
No, because then it's a trick question. Because
Yeah.
it's like, oh.
Honestly, I'd be like, yeah, like maybe for like a day. Like I don't want to go up there for, like I don't want to explore space.
Yeah.
But like,
But if that's the
who
question,
isn't
if she's
interested
asking,
in
the question
outer
is
space?
just, do you want to go to space?
I
wouldn't
do
wanna
not.
just, like-
I
There
do
you go.
not
This
want to
is
go to space.
Full of himself.
I don't want to go to space because I want to be on Earth. I like it here.
No,
Yeah.
I like Earth too, and I would if they were like,
no, I like Earth too.
if they were like,
Beep,
no,
bop.
No, I am also pro Earth.
Hello, I am from Earth.
it's like that not no hard feelings. I said that because of Jennifer Lawrence. What's the Passengers movie that she did?
Yeah.
Where it's like I wouldn't want to do an expedition where I might never come back. Like,
Right.
one day, let me see like Earth from outer. That's more me being like, I love Earth. Let me see Earth from a different
space.
vantage point.
So you don't even want to see space. You just want to see
No,
Earth
I want
from
to see
space.
Earth. What else is there to see? It's stars. Like,
I
there's
mean, you're
nothing
not
out
trying
there.
to like go to Mars.
I mean, that's taking it too far.
Is it? I thought it was gonna be like, well, that would have been really cool.
No, but like,
Well,
that takes,
Mars
like,
would be sick.
yeah.
It's impossible.
It's not impossible.
It's just like it would take your entire life. I don't think you're ever coming back. No one's ever gone to Mars. So.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Could
No, I don't
be.
want to be the first. Don't even put me in the
Yeah.
raffle.
Could be you. Could be you.
You could be what about getting
Although
on?
if I'm ever, if
getting
Olivia,
on Elon Musk's ship with Pete Davidson.
I don't trust
Sounds like a
any. I
nightmare.
don't trust any billionaires doing any like expeditions.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
You're not, or
I wanna go into the ocean.
Or was it Bezos?
I don't
One
know.
of these
One of these
guys. Who was Pete Davidson going to go to space with? Was it Bezos?
It was Bezos.
Can
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just say, when I see a Cybertruck, nothing makes me roll
they're-
my fucking eyes hard.
Oh,
so
they're. I
ugly.
mean, they're the ugliest.
They're
things
the
that-
ugliest
they're heinous.
fucking cars,
Yeah.
and they're so obnoxious.
No,
and I
totally.
don't know why anybody. We were driving back home, and we had to stop in the city somewhere, and we parked, and then we were trying to get out of the spot, and by we, I mean Matt was driving to get out of the
Yeah.
spot, and the Cybertruck was,
Ugh.
and I was like, go in front of him. Go in front of this stupid ass Cybertruck.
No, seriously.
Don't let him bully you just because he's in a Cybertruck.
Maybe that should be the first date question.
Oh, do you want a
Would
Cybertruck?
you or would you not have a Cybertruck? And if they say yes, it's over.
I think if you get a Cybertruck, you're a loser.
No, I agree with you. I'm
What is the point of it?
anti-Cybertruck.
Like, it's indestructible, but it actually isn't because we've seen that. Like, it's not.
I don't
indestructible.
know.
They're just in the way.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
they're ugly.
On visual factor alone, they're ugly.
What do you think
That's
of
it.
Teslas though? Like this normal Teslas.
Fine.
They're also like they're not as
Whatever.
ugly, but
Fine,
it's like
it's
they're
fine.
not
Whatever.
cool.
Whatever, but I don't
Tesla,
want
fine.
a Tesla.
You want to drive a Tesla? Fine.
Fine, cool.
Great. Yep.
You know?
But the Cybertruck is another level.
Cybertruck is just like
Especially
you're...
in the city, it's
Yeah.
like what the hell?
No,
Yeah,
seriously,
yeah.
you're an obnoxious asshole
Yeah.
if you're driving a Cybertruck in the city. You really are. Anyways,
Yeah.
that should be added to Olivia Rodrigo's list
Yeah,
of
she
questions.
should put that
Red
one on
flag.
there for sure. Would you go to space?
What's your dream car?
I think if
Would you go to
Olivia,
space? Would you drive a Cybertruck?
if Olivia Rodrigo is asking you, would you get a Cybertruck, and you don't know the answer is no, then you shouldn't even be on that date. It's like that's the most obvious. Like
Yeah.
Olivia Rodrigo is not wanting to be in a Cybertruck.
I don't know. A lot of those celebrities have Cybertrucks. I'm pretty sure like Justin
Yeah,
Bieber's
yeah,
driven one.
yeah.
The Kardashians have driven one. It's like,
Well, honestly, that's
I think
not, the
Jason
Kardashians.
Kelce has a Cybertruck.
does he?
I think so.
Really? I know.
I know. I
Ah,
know.
fuck.
You would not think.
I wouldn't expect him to
You
have a
would not
Cybertruck.
expect him to have a Cybertruck, but I think he does, and I think they've talked about it before.
What?
Yeah.
That really just threw me for a loop. I would not expect Jason. I would expect Jason Kelce to be on the side of having a Cybertruck is loserish.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. I know.
And let me be the first to say I know nothing about the Cybertruck.
We're going
I
on
believe he
aesthetic-
does own a Cybertruck.
aesthetic
Yeah.
alone.
Aesthetic alone, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that we're talking about the way it looks. It's just terrible.
Damn.
But yeah, Jason Kelce does have.
Why does he have
a
one? Does he
Cybertruck.
have? Does he ever say the reasons?
They haven't really talked about it in depth too much. It just said that.
There's just so
Get
many
a
other.
pickup truck.
There's just so many other cars out there.
Yeah.
When I see
Yeah.
someone driving a Cybertruck, I'm like, what are you trying to prove?
Remember that video of Elon Musk where he's like in that like trying to show how indestructible it is?
No.
And they like they throw like a metal thing at it and it just shatters the window and it's like
Oh, no,
the
I
most
didn't see that.
embarrassing thing ever.
He talked about it on the podcast once, where he said that he took his Cybertruck through a car wash and it like broke. Said he got a little nervous when he took the vehicle to a car wash. There's a lot of stuff out there. The Cybertruck short circuits going through car washes, he said. I think it's just like they didn't seal something properly or something like that. But there was like, it did rain once and then the car door kept opening when I parked it until it dried out, that it would close again.
See, no good. These Cybertrucks are no good.
No, they've had tons of issues. People have already complained that they've noticed that their trucks have developed rust spots after being outside in the rain.
It's not waterproof.
I mean, look at it. It looks like a rusty mobile.
Yeah, and in April, nearly 4,000 Cybertrucks were recalled due to a defect with its accelerator that caused its pedal to jam.
Oh, that's not good.
And then another 11,000 were recalled in June due to issues with their window wipers.
Great car.
But no, yeah, they were laughing. He was making fun of him. Travis was making fun of him for having one.
I like that take from Travis right there.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift wouldn't be caught dead in a Cybertruck.
No.
Oh, maybe he wasn't. It just sounds like making fun of him in the sense that I think Jason was like waiting for the Cybertruck to like come out so that he could get one.
Yeah, no interest. No interest there.
Did you know women were excluded from clinical research policy by federal law until 1993? Women belong in scientific research. They're essential. Ritual knows they conducted a university-led human clinical trial for their Essential for Women 18 Plus multivitamin to assess its efficacy. The results? It increased vitamin D levels by 43% and omega-3 DHA levels by 41% in just 12 weeks. I take the Ritual multivitamins every day. I think they're so great. It's easy. It's simple. Like I said, it's just a way to pack everything you need into 2 multivitamins, and that way you're not carrying around all these different pills and all these things. It's just super convenient. Only about 1% of supplement brands on the market have the USP verified mark, which shows the product contains the ingredients actually listed on the label. Ritual multivitamins are vegan, non-GMO, project verified, gluten and major allergen free, certified B Corp, and made traceable. No more shady business. Ritual's Essential for Women 18 Plus is a multivitamin you can actually trust. Get 25% off your first month at ritual.com/chicks. Start Ritual or add Essential for Women 18 Plus to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/chicks for 25% off.
Okay, moving on to Celebrity Halloween. It was a big Halloween weekend part 2, I guess. Some people didn't do anything. Some people saw more costumes. I got to be honest, nothing crazy this year, although I will say Heidi Klum, E.T., loved it. That's what I'm talking about, Heidi.
It actually really took me a while. When I first saw the pictures, I wasn't quite sure where her body was inside the costume.
Yeah.
And then I just saw the pictures and I was like, wow, thinking she was kind of in like a mascot suit situation. And then when I saw some interviews of her talking, I was like, oh my God, her face is like in the neck. Mm-hmm. And that's like a whole robot thing. It's like the mouth was moving when she was talking. And then the pictures of her inside the party when she doesn't have the head and her face is just neck, E.T. neck.
Just E.T.'s neck.
Yeah.
I loved it. I think E.T. was a great
It's a good one. It's a good one. Very good. Very good.
And then Sabrina Carpenter did Lizzie McGuire, the Igloo.
A lot of Lizzie McGuire costumes.
It was because Kendall and Kylie also did Lizzie and Isabella.
Yeah, and I saw like a lot other people do it too.
And they posted that video and they got ripped to shreds. People were calling them awkward, whatever. And then Kylie was like, clearly you've never seen the movie.
Yeah, right?
Like they're supposed to be
She
awkward.
has stage fright when she comes out originally.
They were putting on a performance.
Yeah.
They did the right thing. They nailed the Lizzie and Isabella.
I loved that in Sabrina's photos, one of her friends was Miss Ungermeyer.
Classic.
My friend Madeline did a Miss Ungermeyer costume this weekend. It was very good.
Oh my God, that's
genius.
It was
very good. That is a classic costume.
So good. I've never seen somebody do the Igloo, the Lizzie McGuire Igloo. So
Igloo
I love that from
really
Sabrina.
Good.
Not a lot of other standouts for me this year.
Yeah, I feel like I saw a lot of Kim Possibles.
There was Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber were Ron and Kim, and then little baby Jack was Rufus, which is hilarious. Madeline Petch and Camila Kim Mendes were Shigo and Kim Possible.
That's a good one.
So that was great. Lily Reinhart posted on her story that she was dealing with a family emergency. So, because they usually do a 3-person costume every year. So she put out there she was dealing with a family emergency. I love Lily Reinhart. I do too. She just seems like a sweetheart. Honestly, anytime I see any interview of her or anything of her, she seems like a sweetheart. So hope everything's okay with her and her family. But they rocked that costume. It was great. But yeah, there was a lot of Kim Possibles.
I saw, which is great. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the excitement over the celebrity posed photo shoot costumes has dwindled a little bit. I feel like because, and maybe it was more just a COVID thing, like a lockdown thing, because there wasn't, when people weren't really going out to parties and things, that people were dressing up and just like taking pictures and being at home. But now it feels that they're doing so many, and it's just like it's not hitting as hard. Like, I would rather see everybody, as far as everybody, the big celebs, really nail their one or two costumes that they're wearing out and about. Like, Kendall and Kylie, I thought was great. That was fun, the whole Lizzie McGuire thing. And then, Kylie did like the Demi Moore photo shoot replication of the movie, I think a movie poster for Striptease. And that's why I'm like, these things are, I mean, they're fun. I'm sure they're fun for them to do, but it's just a lot. I feel like it's a lot. It's just, it's everybody, everybody does it.
What the fuck was Kim Kardashian, the albino alligator? Worst Halloween costume of all time?
Terrible.
What was that?
That's when you know you're running out of material.
Like, you could be anything, and you choose albino alligator?
Right.
From what?
And it looked like I don't know if she wore that out trick-or-treating with the kids or if that was just a photo shoot.
I think it was just a photo shoot.
Which is just the perfect, honestly, I feel like it shows the perfect just personality differences between, and we've been seeing them highlighted like on the show a lot, between like Kim and Chloe. Like Chloe posts, she's like with the kids, she's just, she's in cat ears, like she's taking the kids trick-or-treating. And Kim's like full photo shoot as an albino alligator, just not just
what even is that? Like I'm like, is this from a movie that I've never seen before? Albino alligator, I don't understand. Kendall and Haley did The Simple Life, which I thought was cute.
That was cute.
They did a little photo shoot and they posted it, which I thought was cute. But yeah, nothing crazy this year that really stood out to me too much besides hating Kim Kardashian's
albino alligator. It's just, and it looks like that was really just it.
Is she just sitting around going, I'm going to be an albino alligator?
This is just like the prosthetics are just insane. So I'm like, why
not a regular alligator?
She's spending some big bucks on these bad boys.
Why must it have been an albino alligator?
Yeah. I don't know.
Honestly, if she just went alligator, I would have been like, that's cooler.
And it's funny because, and maybe she did it like, I don't know if she thought like that through on it, but all the comments were like, oh, you're just confirming you're, like a lizard, like the whole reptilian people, lizard people.
Oh, that conspiracy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just didn't understand that at all.
Reptilian, putting it in our faces, Kim. We know you sold your soul. Finally, an actual representation of what you look like. They put it right in your face and try to play it off as a costume. The world...
What is going on?
The world is waking up and sees what you are showing us. People are
my
sick.
God.
This is
Oh
just
my
the world.
God.
I mean, it's just...
That is...
God.
I
really
level.
can't. This is the world we live in.
That is next level.
This is the world we live in.
That is next level cuckoo there.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
The crazy thing is that people are like
they
online,
really
like
believe
they're typing it and they like truly believe it with their every being.
They're putting everything they got behind that.
Kim Kardashian is a reptile.
Yep.
And they're like, we believe this.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't think that. I just think it was a stupid costume.
Right. If anything, it's like something like Northwest was like, yeah, Mom, it'd be cool if you did this.
Northwest had better costumes.
I can see North
probably wanted to do the makeup.
Yeah.
She loves that stuff.
I could see Northwest being like, Mom, you should be an albino alligator.
Yeah,
and then her being like, I'm going to be an albino alligator. And it's as simple as that.
Right.
So, yeah, not too many crazy costumes this past weekend. But, yeah, the photo shoots it's not really Halloween. It's like, you could do that really any day of the year. Now, do I think it'd be cool?
People go out and like go all out and then they go to, actually go to parties
and you
wear
see
it.
them wearing it outside with their paparazzi picture. Like, oh, they actually wore that, which is cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting because you could really do that all year round if you wanted to just like impersonate movie posters and whatnot, which could be fun.
And people do that anyway.
They do it anyway. It could be fun. Some of it I love, some of it I just think is like whatever. The Wicked press tour has started, so we're seeing a little bit more of Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater here, which is interesting. It's interesting because it just goes back and forth. Like you have some people that are like, no, Ethan and his wife were broken up and blah blah blah, and then you have some people and friends that are adamant that's like, no, he left her for Ariana Grande and this whole thing, and I'm like, which one is it?
Yeah, well, all it seems is they are absolute lovebirds at this moment in time. But I'm so excited. I mean, I could not be more excited to see these press looks and the carpet looks. Ariana and Cynthia looked stunning. It's just the first one was the premiere in Sydney, and it just felt like a really cool homage to the original Wizard of Oz, and just all those pictures. Like everything is just gonna be. Everything's just going to be so cool. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see the rest of it. But yeah, Ariana actually posted a bunch of photos, and in one of them is like Ethan carrying the back of her dress, like coming down some stairs. So, because they haven't really publicly shared too much, but Ethan is doing a lot of press right now, of course, because he is in the movie as well. And he's been asked about her a ton. He just did a GQ spread last week. He's being asked about her on the carpet. And I do love when interviewers on the carpet. I don't know, and I would be in the same position. Like I'd be kind of terrified to ask the question, but also you want to ask the question, but you don't like say Ariana by name. Like you're like the woman you love is really this is her time to shine. Like how does it feel seeing her in this role and whatever? And he's been very sweet. He's so excited. She's so funny. She's so great.
I know that Ariana Grande like spoke about, because sort of like the Austin Butler thing where like his voice changed, and like that happens when you're like you're so into the movie and you're working on this role and your voice is bound to change. But I just can't help like watch these interviews and be like, this isn't Ariana Grande. Like this is just her character in all these interviews. I'm like, where is Ariana Grande? You know, like I just see this character.
I feel like she is so obsessed with Glinda that that's just the way it's going to be. She's it may be an Austin Butler where she's stuck in it for a little bit. Yeah. She loves Glinda so much. And it's like you kind of like, you spend all this time, you're so excited, and then you want to be that character. And sometimes little pieces of the character just stick with you forever.
Yeah, I just feel like there's like a shell of Ariana Grande, but it's not her, and it's just Glinda.
Yeah, there's some people that are just artists in the way that when they take on these new roles, it's almost like, and not saying Ariana Grande is a method actor, but like in a way where it gets that vibe where it's like you move in stages of like what character you're playing,
right?
And that like leaks into your real personality. Whereas now when when you watch your interview, you're like, well, who is this?
Because I'm just watching, when I see these interviews of her, red carpets or whatever, I'm like, this is not Ariana Grande. You know? I'm like, there's something, I was going to say there's something not right here, but the not right is just her being so into character. So totally. I guess if that's what works for her for the movie.
She could have a situation where she sells herself on camera in a different way compared to,
behind the scenes.
Like there's some people that you get to read where you're like, when you see interviews of them, you're like, I feel like that's exactly how they would be if I talked to them with no cameras, like behind closed doors. And there's some people when you see them, you're like, I don't think they would act like that.
Yeah, I do not feel that way with Ariana Grande.
Yeah,
I'm like, where is the real Ariana Grande? Where are you?
That's fair. You could feel that one.
Come out that way. Come out. Where are you? That's how I feel right now.
Right. I think she has hotter takes in real life.
And it's just like this, she has this Glinda voice on, I guess, right now that I'm just like,
she does have
where is Ariana Grande?
No, she's got the Glinda voice for sure. But she's stuck in right now she's stuck in the Glinda voice.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily see her and Ethan Slater as like a cute couple, you know? So I guess that doesn't help either.
that could.
I think that's playing into it as well. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on here, but you know what? Whatever. They're happy.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
You know? They seem to be.
Yeah.
From what they're saying.
Yes. They couldn't be saying it more.
But it is the Wicked Press Tour.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to be saying a lot for weeks to come.
Yeah. And don't want to remind everybody what happened with fucking Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz when they were promoting their movie.
Right.
And then a couple of weeks later, boom.
Boom.
You know, I'm not trying to believe every couple is going to happen with them now, but just saying.
It's
Wicked Press Tour.
Different when the work schedule dies down when you're working together.
Wicked Press Tour. All in full effect right now. All right, that wraps up today's topics.
No
can't believe
Rizzler again.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You're trying to avoid this topic.
What do I have to do to get you to talk about the Rizzler with me? What do I have to do? You forgot him twice now.
I've forgotten the Rizzler twice, which is my bad because he's the most famous man in the world right now. So let's give a little background for the people that
I think
may
background
not
would
know.
be great because I didn't really know until about 4 days ago.
AJ and Big Justice have their own family, the Costco family, okay? The Rizzler is not a part of their family. He is his separate person that's also in the Costco universe. There's just a bunch of Costco guys running around.
And for that explanation is they have been making content.
They have been making content on TikTok, Instagram. Boom! They rate in Costco. They rate the Costco items. They love Costco.
Yeah.
This has been going on for months now.
Yes.
And the fame has really picked up with all of them. It's been going on for a while, but it's really picked up. They were on Jimmy Fallon. The Rizzlers at the Rangers game.
I saw Big Justice
Boom!
and AJ. Like, I've seen their stuff for longer where I'm like, okay, that I've seen. They've been in The Office.
Yes.
I've seen them do their, the whole Boom, the whole thing. But the Rizzler was a newer addition for me that I did not realize. And I was under the impression they were all one family. I thought that the Rizzler was just the younger brother and they were all one family.
No.
And I'm like, where? The Rizzler, he's doing press with AJ and Big Justice. Who was a young kid and his dad. Where's the Rizzler's family?
I am not too sure.
How old is the Rizzler?
The Rizzler's in like third grade.
10 years old?
I think the
I think
Rizzler's.
he's 8.
I think the Rizzler's in like third grade, and I'm worried about the Rizzler because I feel like he's being shelled out for everything right now. And at least AJ and Big Justice, they got a family thing going, and it's a whole family affair. But with the Rizzler, he's just.
If you search up like anything about the Rizzler, it's so funny. Is the Rizzler a child? Like all these questions.
He is.
He's like, he's not a and he's not a Batman
He's
villain.
a third grader.
He's 7. That kid is 7 years old.
And he's being propped up everywhere.
Yeah.
And
I mean, in his videos, like if you go onto the
tall is
Rizzler's
Rizzler? 3
TikTok
feet tall.
account, then you see more of, his family. But I'm like, how did it end up where like they're doing press? I'm like, how did it end up where they have made their way to Jimmy Fallon as a threesome? Like, where did that happen? Where they united into one Costco supergroup and they decided that like the Rizzler's family, you're backstage. You're not out on stage with Jimmy.
it's the Costco universe. It's gotten so big with the leaders being AJ, Big Justice, and the Rizzler.
Yeah.
And the Costco universe is only going to expand from here. Like they're making.
But the Rizzler's like the biggest out of the 3, you would say.
Well, but I mean, he's being propped up at the Rangers game. No joke. I had the same conversation this weekend where I was like, "Why is the Rizzler everywhere? Why is he everywhere?"
And it really does sound like a Batman villain. That's why it's. But I had a friend at the Rangers game, and he was like, he goes, they showed, the celebrity cam. They showed the Rizzler first. He's like, and then they showed, oh God, I'm going to forget who the second person was, but an objectively very famous person. And then the third person they showed was like Owen Wilson. And he was like, you wouldn't believe the pop the Rizzler got. Like, and he was like, compared to everybody else, nobody cared. But the Rizzler, everybody lost their mind in Madison Square Garden.
That is just life these days. Like, you can have an A++ celebrity, and then you can have AJ and Big Justice yelling boom,
right, and you're just like, this
on
is
Jimmy
a
Fallon.
7-year-old from New Jersey.
Have you seen the clips of them on Jimmy Fallon?
People are giving Jimmy Fallon a tough time
because Jimmy Fallon was just mean to them. Like, he just was right. He was yeah, like when they were doing their booms.
like every time they did the boom. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he wasn't falling for the boom.
Well,
act.
I have to imagine that if you're Jimmy Fallon, because there's been stories that have come out about Jimmy Fallon of like maybe not so Mr. Nice Guy all the time, that like backstage when his production team is like, hey, so this week's guests are the Rizzler and AJ and Big Justice, he's like, what the fuck kind of show are we running here?
Right.
You know?
I mean, he's going to be like, is this Ellen?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, if this would have happened on Ellen.
There was a clip and someone wrote like Jimmy Fallon's mask slipped here. Like his Joker mask.
Yeah, it's
like
so
came
fair.
out. And I was like, oh my God, the way that his face just changed of anger, of being like, why the fuck do I have these people on my stage right now?
But then also people were showing that like the views that Jimmy Fallon got on anything with them in it was like 30 times the views that like any other celebrities got.
They're taking over the world and you better respect them because they're not going anywhere. You know?
Yeah.
These guys, the Costco guys,
they're in.
I just love the name Big Justice.
Totally.
Like, it's just
totally
unbelievable.
Also, I'm seeing like videos of him when he was like younger and he was like a rugby player and there's like highlight tapes of him like just
the dad
like dominating people in like rugby.
And now he's dominating the internet. They are just taking over the world. The Rizzler.
Although
the
from the
Rizzler.
outside it looks like he's a good dad. Like I've seen videos of like older videos when like what's the son's name?
AJ?
Big AJ.
No, Big Justice
Big
and
Justice.
AJ.
Big Justice.
Excuse
and
me.
AJ.
Oh,
Get it
just
right.
AJ. So he doesn't have anything. He just has his name AJ.
He's
Yeah,
AJ.
so it's the Big Justice and AJ and the Rizzler.
And the Rizzler.
But it seems
Do
like
you think
know,
AJ wishes he was the Rizzler?
Oh, he has to be so.
I mean, I'm
jealous.
sure he'd imagine he would also want, like, they all have. This is his father. Oh no, AJ is the father.
Big Justice is the kid.
Big Justice is the
Ah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking it's AJ is the father.
Yeah, AJ's the father. Big Justice
Yes.
is the kid.
Big Justice posts content mainly with his father AJ, an amateur wrestler. So they all have wrestler names, you know?
It's all very confusing.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say
What was I gonna say?
about AJ and Big Justice?
No, I was just saying that I think like because sometimes I think people worry in these situations like the parents are taking advantage of the kids and like, but it seems like he's just been documenting his kids' lives like since they were babies and and then they just blew up. I don't know, but
I mean, it could be the Mark D'Amelio and
Right.
Heidi D'Amelio effect.
oh yeah, but they don't have the charisma that these guys have.
No, I mean the
Mark
charisma.
D'Amelio isn't
the
going
char-
boom.
Yeah, the charisma that AJ and Big Justice possess.
The Rizzler is, yeah. I mean,
He's literally called the Rizzler.
yeah. Yep.
What if they ever have a falling out?
I feel like he's had a big influence on the Mets. There was a
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, he has a big influence on the world.
He does. But yeah, it was a mind-blowing moment for me when I found out that they're not one family.
Right. It's like, how did this happen at the
Yeah.
same time?
Right. It's like, did they sit at home and they decide like, you know what, we're sending out little Riz on his own. we're gonna let him go
Let
on
him
Jimmy
shine.
Fallon.
Yeah.
You know, he's the star.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see that it does see his family are, you know,
Yeah.
they're around, they're there.
Right. Who went to
But-
Costco first? You know,
Right? Yeah, I know.
Who started this?
I think AJ and you know, close, you know, strike me down if I'm wrong, but I think they were doing the Costco thing first. Because the Rizzler was doing other videos. He was
And
dressing up
then-
in costumes. He was doing the Riz. He was doing the whole thing.
yeah. And then he saw.
And now I think they've joined forces.
they joined forces in Costco.
Yes.
That's where everyone unites,
Yep.
is in Costco.
Yep.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that wraps up the topics for today.
The Weekly Watch Report is presented by Coors Light. When life gets hectic this season, choose chill and reach for a Coors Light. Traffic too jammed? Head to happy hour with friends instead and then reach for a Coors Light. Sun setting too early for your outdoor plans? Hit up a local trivia night and then enjoy a Coors Light. When the mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. We are getting into that fall season. It's getting crisp. The air's, you know, colder. The leaves are falling. You want to cuddle up inside and make sure that you have your Coors Light stocked, ready to go, because fall feels good when you choose chill and then reach for a Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/chicks, and always celebrate responsibly from Coors Brewing Company in Golden, Colorado.
All right, let's get into the Weekly Watch Report where we talk about the things we watched this week. Weekly Watch Report on Monday. 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 So I really, I'm not gonna lie, I actually have not watched much. I'm pretty much a wash for this week. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, you didn't watch anything?
No, I mean,
I think one of my favorite things is when Rhea does the whole intro and the song, and then she's like, "So not gonna lie, I didn't watch." No, but I will say it was.
I remember this wedding.
World Series was still going on. So
Yeah.
those are like those games. Those are nights when you would normally be watching TV, but you're watching baseball. So
Baseball.
I felt I had that. Like I haven't watched a lot
Brother's
either.
wedding, so
Yeah.
not really much. I watched the first episode of The Penguin. I'll give that an A.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's very good.
Good stuff.
But
I haven't watched
long episodes,
Oh
so
my
I need
God.
to lock in a little bit more.
Yeah, they are long.
I watched
Like
the
Joe
first,
said, he's like these episodes are like movies.
Yeah, I watched the first one last night, and then I was like, I'm gonna fall asleep, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have to take a pause on this. Continuing to watch Veep, Love, obviously, and I watched Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Great movie.
Classic.
A classic.
I'll give that a B.
That's fair.
It's a fair
It's
grade.
a solid grade for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay.
I don't really have anything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's totally fine.
It's not. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
My
That's
big
the
bro.
truth.
My big bro
Your
got married.
Got married. Yep. I watched the Love Is Blind reunion, and I mean, we have something must be done. They cannot continue to have these reunions be the snooze fest that they are. They really can't. I'm so sorry. If they want to have a Love Is Blind special taping where they bring in ex Love Is Blinders and Jessica, she got married last year. Let's talk to her about it. Like, I don't want that in the reunion for the season. Talk about the season we just watched. I just they can be in the audience, fine, but they're just, the ex people are in it too much and there's too much commentary from everybody else. Ask these people the questions. The amount of, you'd be sick. The amount of puns
Oh my
the
God.
Lachey's made
They're the worst
in this
hosts.
reunion. It was Pun City. Puns left and right.
Not
Couldn't
good
stop
ones.
making puns. And there's just a bad segue. I mean, I almost had to go back and rewind the Tyler and Ashley part because I was like, am I the wrong one here? Like, they're making me feel like I'm crazy, that I'm wondering what happens to them when they're like, we're good, we're fine. Like, Ashley's like, I'm his wife. Like, you don't think I know what's going on, like, behind closed doors? And I'm like, well, we're here to ask you about that. That's the whole point. I'm like, Andy Cohen would have never let this happen. Where they're just, and Nick and Vanessa are like, okay, cool, happy for you guys. Glad you guys are like in love and you're like still married and everything. That's great. What? What happened? What do you mean? He didn't want to bring up the kids, but then she knew about the kids, and it was actually Ashley who wanted to mention the kids on camera. He didn't want the kids to be mentioned. So obviously he was, you could tell he was lying when she was like, oh, do they know what you look like? He's like, I don't think so. Like, she was like, oh, you could tell he was obviously lying. He didn't want to talk about it on camera. I was like, what? What?
Yeah, they don't
I'm
know.
so confused.
They don't know how to do a reunion.
Is he still involved in the children's life? There's so many questions. Where are these kids? The mom is on Instagram being like, hey, these are his children. And it would be nice. She's looking, there seems to be some financial compensation. I'm like, hey, all you have to do, if that's Andy Cohen, he'd look at his paper, he'd say, so Tyler at Sassy Girl 57 from Michigan wants to know how you feel about everybody calling you a deadbeat dad on social media.
Yeah, that would be the question.
That's
Andy Cohen would.
That's the answer we're looking for.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's just a tough formula. I go back and forth because I understand why they give them a year of like actually being married without the outside noise, because it is, I'm sure, a good test to see if married life is really going to work with them without everybody actually watching the show. So for their real lives, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
For us as viewers, a year is far too long, and they've all moved on. Like, they don't care anymore. It's just they've had a year. It's like, oh, the drama.
It all dies down.
And then they just focused on this Nick Hannah situation for way too long. Did Nick call Hannah a grenade? He wouldn't admit to it, but everybody else, they just are like, I'm like, this is what we're going to argue about for 15 minutes of the special. Hannah is quite the persona. Like, she's just a fascinating human being. She really is. Like, she was just like, look, like, I'm blunt. And yeah, maybe I'm a bitch. I don't know. But I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm sorry.
Well, no, I saw people saying that he should have said, like, when they were talking about the grenade, he's like, oh, sorry, I'm blunt. Like, he should have just said the same thing. It's like, you can't have that as your excuse for being a mean person.
Always. That's so always true. Like, oh, like, I guess I have to, like, check my personality. Sometimes I'm just so blunt. Like, I just say what I want to say all the time.
A lot of mean people will disguise it as just being blunt. Like, I'm just blunt. Well, like, there's also like a time and a place.
Right.
You know what I mean? Of being blunt.
She's like, oh, I guess I could have, like, gone easier on. I don't know. The whole thing was just, it was boring. Like, just boring. I just even, like, I don't know. Steven weirded me out to no end. That was weird. His whole thing was weird. Oh,
and they were like, he started talking, and they were like, hold on, like, we're not.
Yeah,
he's a weird guy.
Weird. He's like, nobody wants to hear my answer because nobody's gonna believe me. Nobody wants to hear what I want to say anyway. I'm like, what is? I'm like, he's gaslighting all of us. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what I want to say. Is what he kept saying. I'm like, oh my god.
Also, when Nicholas, like, when they are like, after someone has an emotional, like, whatever, and they're like, hey, we just need to tell you, like, you're a strong person. Like, I don't buy it for a second. I don't need to hear the host, like,
that's not what they're there for. It's
just like, that is unneeded.
It is. I agree. I mean, it's nice that they do that for them, but at the same time, I'm like, make this a reunion. Make this a cutting. We're asking the tough questions. We're getting answers. We're not here to be like, oh, you guys did a good job, and thanks so much for coming on the show. Like, give us something more.
The start of the reunion, you would have thought that, like, it was so clearly, like, fake crowd noise. It sounded like it was Game 7 of, like, the NBA Finals, where they just had it pumping, and I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, there was a live, there was an audience.
I know, but like, if you saw the audience, no one was like, it's just, the whole thing just seems so, like, fake. I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think I'll give the reunion like a D+. Like, it
was terrible.
I didn't, and it. Not a single. I gotta listen to Nick Viall's podcast to get any answers about this season of Love Is Blind. He's, like, that's where we're at.
Did
like,
I just audibly go, oh, sorry.
that's where I'm at. Is like, he's the only one asking questions, putting these people in the hot seat. Nick and Vanessa not doing their jobs. Nick V will do his job. He will put them in that seat. But yeah, no, it was not good, I will say. It's just, for a show that gets so many viewers and so many people talk about, like, when the pods are happening, everybody's talking about the show. Like, it's just publicly, friends are talking about it, everybody's talking about it. By the time they get to the reunion, everyone's like, oh, whatever, the reunion always sucks anyway. Yeah. So it's like, you gotta fix the reunion.
Right.
Gotta fix the reunion. I caught up on the challenge.
I have to catch up on the challenge.
I caught up on the challenge.
Do not spoil. I'm going to catch up on the challenge.
I won't, but
That's my mission.
It's a good season. I am really enjoying it.
On our flights this week, I'm catching up on the challenge.
Really enjoying it. All I'll say is Bananas has really been in the mix with which I've enjoyed.
That's what I like to see.
Yeah. I'll give the challenge. I'm totally up to date, so I will give that a B. I mean, it's they're cruising. It's a good season right now. And I'm caught up on Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'll give that a B-. I don't really have too much commentary right now on it. It's just been, like, it's just kind of, putting it on and watching it. And I caught up on, there was no episode last week. So I was watching from the previous week. They were all episode 5 of Med, Fire, and PD, Chicago. So I'm caught up with that. They didn't do a new episode last week. So I'm not sure what they were doing there. They always, some weeks it's just not on. There's no There's no rhyme or reason sometimes. It appears.
They go by their own schedule.
Yeah, I'll give those all a B- as well. It's been good. Maybe I'll give PD a B. I've been enjoying this season of PD. There's been some new characters in play. Also caught up on Grey's Anatomy. We gotta, if you're still watching, you'll understand what I'm about to say, but like we gotta stop putting these doctors in helicopters. I mean, we're in the 20-something season, we're still putting these doctors in helicopters?
Mm-mm.
It's just, whether it's a main point of the episode or not, like too much in helicopters. And that's everything. That's everything I watched, I'm pretty sure. I've not watched a new episode of The Penguin, or I'm behind on that.
The people want to know, are you guys watching Only Murders or not?
No.
I also have to catch up on Only
like,
Murders.
just because you just haven't? Or?
I just keep forgetting about it. It's like
I watched the first 2 episodes, then I just forgot, and now I have to catch up. I'm gonna catch up. We were traveling. We were going from Ohio, my brother's way. I don't know how many times I have to say it.
Only Murders is also kind of a show that I like am supposed to watch with Joe because we watch it together. But then sometimes he forgets, and then I watch that. Like, I finished the end of last season without him, and he did not even realize. Like, he didn't. It was, so I'm like, but if I were to say, hey, I'm starting the new season, he'd be like, oh, what, without me?
Right.
So I have to wait to see if I get the green light on watching that one on my own.
Okay, I finished Escape at Dannemora. And
you did that last time. You when you talked to me about it, you're like, escape at, and I was like, Dannemora.
Waiting for someone else to say it for me. That's what I do when I read menus too. I'll get the just point at the. These were the episodes where like it clicked for me. I'm like, oh my god, I remember this story. Like I remember prisoners being out on the loose for like a while and no one knew where they were. I don't know how I didn't remember that like leading up to it, but it's a crazy story. Like and I enjoyed, like, when they're out of prison, obviously it's, like, a lot more action-packed, I'd say. So I'll give it a B+. Like, very well done. Paul Dano's always, like, an incredible actor. So Love is Blind, D+. Like, that was just...
Bad.
I didn't want to watch it, and I skimmed through a lot of it. Like,
yeah.
I went to the movie theater to watch A Real Pain, which is a movie with Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin. And Jesse Eisenberg directed it, actually. But I went in, like, not really knowing what it was about. I just was like, oh, I like both those guys, and seems like a movie I'd like. And it was, like, very centered around Judaism, which I, like, didn't know. But I think that worked in my favor because I could relate to it. But it's the whole thing is them going, they're cousins who, like, don't see each other much. They used to be close. Their grandma died. And, like, her last wish was, like, for them to go to Poland, where she was from. So then when they go to Poland, it's, like, very obviously centered around, like, the Holocaust and all that. But it's more about, like, their relationship in a way. But really good. Like, very good. Especially if you're Jewish. Like, I think that it'll just hit more. But I'll give it an A-. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that was, like, up at the Oscars or for something. I watched The Comeback, 3 episodes. Which is about the Red Sox winning. Yeah. Which also I feel like it's like they've made a 30 for 30 about it. They've like everyone's seen this before, but this is like just a lot more behind the scenes and like context and everything. And I don't think you have to be like a fan of the Red Sox to just appreciate it. And, I'll give that an A-. Like just a well done documentary.
They always do. Like I feel like Netflix does the sports documentaries really well. I kind of watched the first Terrifier movie. Everyone's talking about Terrifier 3. I don't know what Terrifier is.
It's like scary. I think Maria mentioned it when she was mentioning like Halloween movies when she was on the show. But everyone's talking about I think the third one's out in theaters and it's supposed to be like so gory and whatever. So I watched the first one because it's on Amazon. And I like kind of skimmed through it, but it was just bad. I don't know. Like I feel like some people like scary movies that are bad in a way. Like... Yeah, because that's what scary movies are. But this one, I don't know. Like, I'll give it a C-. Like, it wasn't, and it wasn't like gory or crazy enough. It wasn't like Saw. But yeah, I don't know. Just kind of creepy.
A lot of scary movies to me are always, I think, are just like.
And it's just like at some point I get it. Like, there's these like movie tropes with scary movies where it's like, oh, like everyone jokes about like, why would you go into the closet when you could just leave? Like, it's just. that's the whole movie. It's like all these people are so dumb. You could have been alive, so then I don't feel bad for you when you get chopped up by this guy. Because it's like you did this to yourself. And then I watched The Penguin last night, which is episode 7. I think there's one more. This one last night was insane.
I heard people raving about it.
It was unbelievable.
Shit.
Like
I'm like, now I'm like, when am I going to be able
now
to
I'm
catch
sure- now
up?
I'm
Now
too
we're going to
far
be on,
gone, yeah.
and we're doing our shows, so I can't
watch TV,
any of
yeah.
them till next week. Oh,
like I was just so locked in the entire time, and I mean, like I feel like I could give it an A+. I'll give it an A just because I'm like every week it seems to be getting better.
that was
but
episode 7.
This is 7.
You can give it an A+. You only have one
but
episode left.
sometimes I feel like the second to last is the
better
best
than the
one.
last.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like Game
So-
of
yeah.
Thrones.
If you want to
No,
give it
I
an
can't.
A+.
I gotta give.
Okay.
I can't.
Oh God, I could never.
But just so good, and yeah, that's all I watched.
All right.
I gotta catch up.
I
gotta
forgot
catch
that
up.
I actually, and you mentioned Kieran Culkin, but I did have a third celebrity sighting this week because it wasn't Kieran Culkin, but I did sit next to at dinner Rory Culkin, the I believe he's the middle
The forgotten brother.
or
Wait,
the
what?
younger Culkin.
I don't
Yeah.
even know who that is.
Wow.
He is very recognizable because they have the same face.
He looks
Oh
like
my
the
God.
Culkins.
They
Yeah.
all he just has long hair,
Yeah.
but they have
Oh, he was in one of the Scream movies.
they have the same face.
Wow.
So when he sat down, I was like, that is a Culkin.
a celebrity-filled weekend.
It really was. It really was.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were at a restaurant in Brooklyn. They sat down next. We were finishing dinner.
How often do you think people go up to me like, "I love Home Alone," like thinking that it's
Oh,
or like I
I'm
love
sure.
Succession.
Honestly, like I'm sure because they really have the same face.
They all have that very distinct face, the
Totally.
Culkins.
Totally. Totally.
All right, that's everything we watched.
Chicks in the Office is sponsored by BetterHelp. This month is all about gratitude. And there's one person out there that you probably don't thank enough. Ourselves. It's sometimes hard to remind ourselves that we are trying our best to make sense of everything. And in this crazy world, that isn't easy. Here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people in your life, including yourself, which means, taking care of yourself, taking care of your mind, making sure that you have somebody to talk to, going to therapy. Therapy is so great and, it's so helpful for learning positive coping skills, how to set boundaries in your life, just empowers you to be the best version of yourself. Anything that you want to talk to with somebody, no matter how big or small you think it is, it's great to have those conversations. It's not just for those who've experienced major trauma. Therapy is for everybody. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/office today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/office.
All right, that wraps up today's episode of Chicks in the Office. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Make sure you bring your signs to the shows Wednesday and Friday, Kansas City and Nashville. There are still tickets on sale if you want to come last minute to Kansas City and Nashville. We'll see you there. We love you guys very much, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday.